on special model. If you're designing something today, you would not make it like this. Hi, this is Nico from Proper Custom, and today we're gonna see what was in this box from Schmidt, or an update on the Project X Dynamo and a bunch of other things related to this. Basically, these are things that are a bit too short to include in a video, so I'm gonna combine it here, and it's updates on some projects, most notably the Project X Dynamo that I mentioned in the previous video, which got quite some views. Thank you for that. And everything else that is coming from that as far as projects. So here we are at my bench. There's the package I got from Schmidt, or SOM, right there, Schmidt machine about. And this is going to be my first unboxing on this channel, and unlike others, this is actually a unique product, so let's get into it. Actually, I'm quite curious how it's going to look, because I've only seen it via email. We've been discussing this, and I've had a box of parts when doing it, so let's get into it. So there we go, as you can see, Schmidt original stationery. And there you go, SON, I don't know what you see, SON special model. So let's open this. And here we are. So that's the Dynamo. There it is, the Dynamo. 6-bolt disc brake, regular connectors, so I have to make a cable because my bike's a SL. But all in all, 32 spoke holes, straight pull. I know what some of you might think, well, you know, it's a Dynamo, it's annoying straight pulls, all that kind of stuff. Well, you're either gonna get it into a wheel, or if you build your own wheel, straight pull is you just need one extra tool, so it's not really that much, and you know, people on the internet like to complain. So that's it. This looks quite nice, similar to the Dino hubs from Stubby Archer, so I'm actually quite excited about it. And anything else? Yeah, there's a quick release adapter, because this is 12mm 2-axle, as you can see. Since I will be testing it with some forks for windbreaks, there's the SON quick release adapter, so this goes inside here and you can put it on a regular quick release fork. It's quite solid in the hand, and we will definitely be posting more details with regards to wheel build and any tests and all that. And here it is, how it compares to a SON Deluxe or SON 28, which is the latest model. Let's see if you can see better. So this is SON Deluxe or SON 28, the one you can buy right now, and this is how it compares. Let's flip it down better to the camera. And the straight pull actually allows quite some flexibility, because you don't have to fight with for space with all the generator parts. So it's kind of a nice solution in my opinion. Actually, I kind of like it. So definitely subscribe if you have not already, and click the notification bell, because, well, everybody says this, but you know, this is a unique product. It's one of a kind so far, so you will not be disappointed. Obviously, the first question you might have, why is this so much better than what is already there? And this needs a bit of a story. I mean, obviously, from my last video, which I'm going to include a link, I talked about how much do dynamos slow you down, and I included some background on what dynamos actually are. And you have to understand that dynamos are what they are because of this right there, incandescent bulbs or halogen bulbs, and this is more than 100-year-old technology, and this is better represented by one of these, by a 12-ohm resistor. So pretty much dynamos are what they are. They're built so they can power reliably 3-watt bulbs or lights based on those bulbs. So it's kind of like dynamos are made like this because lights are made like this because of dynamos being made like this. It's kind of like a chicken egg. This poses some limits on this is just simply physics, or poses some limits on the coils and all that. So dynamos really do not produce that much power. Obviously, with LEDs now that we have now, let me take a LED driver here. The thing is, most modern electronics like this one, or pretty much anything I have out there I tested, do not arc like a resistor, while halogen bulbs arc like one. Even with LEDs kind of, they're much more efficient, they're brighter, but our power needs on the bike have definitely changed. We have a supercomputer in our pocket, and we go on long trips, there's ultra endurance racing, so basically we want to be able to charge devices while on the go, and the limits of dynamos become very obvious. I didn't really know that, this regulation. Obviously, a couple years ago, 4 years ago, I started designing a light that was dimmable. Not so much to focus on efficiency, but to deal with the dynamos flickering at low speed, because they simply don't provide a lot of power at low speed. And this is the companion. I have a separate video on it with a deep dive, but the thing being is I quickly discovered that dynamos are quite limited in power, and if you want to charge something, I mean, the dynamos are 3 watt nominally, right there. It says 3 watt 6 volts, but this is incorrect. They're not that. They can give you a bit more. I mean, they're like this based on outdated standard, like I mentioned. And there is only one standard in the world. It's in Germany, and it's kind of become de facto the international, which when I discovered this, I was like, really? We can't do better than this, but well, this is my attempt at doing better than this. So a bit on the companion. So I quickly discovered that dynamos do not provide you that much power, especially going like more normal cruising speeds, like 15 to 25 kilometers an hour. And if you want to charge something, like the lowest USB stand is about 2.5 watts, and devices like phones, smartphones now have become way more powerful than this. They require way more power. So to deal with this, you need a buffer battery. This is what this has, and it has USB-C port. And you need a buffer battery to kind of deal around with the shortcomings of dynamo. The buffer battery definitely makes things a lot more useful. You can't get away from the limitations of dynamos. So when I made this, actually because of this, I actually got to meet Wilfried Schmidt, who's the guy, the S basically behind Schmidt's original Naven Dynamo, Schmidt's original hub dynamo from Wilfried Schmidt Maschinenbau. And they're working on their project. Actually, they're one of my first customers for this, so I don't know what they did with it when they're developing their light and charger. I kept seeing them afterwards in various bike exhibitions, because you know the world is small, and actually I had another version of this which is actually based on the companion. So again, the electronics of this are designed to work with 3 watt dynamos, to work around everything that's the limit of regular dynamos, which is, I had to get quite creative. So I developed a light which is still based on this, but it had a high beam function, and I showed it at Eurobike 2024. When I presented there. This was one of the times actually Wilfried Schmidt was there as well. They had a booth, and I started talking about them. I mean, why haven't you tried to do anything more powerful? And their answer was, I mean, I'm summarizing here, it's basically, like I told you, our electronics are made to work with our dynamos, and our dynamos are made to work like this because of the standards. So, I mean, they are interested in the research, but, you know, they are companies, so them taking the time to do the research for developing something like this is not high on their priority list. So they said basically, since you do electronics, we can make your dynamo, we can send you parts, so you can do some tests with your electronics to see a dynamo that is, you know, not in the 3 watt standard. So that's kind of how it started. I mean, they explained, we sat down with some of the people there from Schmidt, we talked. They explained to me this and that, and they said, well, we have some parts and we're gonna send them to you so you can test, and then we see if it's gonna turn into a product. So they basically sent me a box of parts. I put them on the shelf for a while, and then actually did some tests, and I was quite impressed. So I did that. I sent my results to them, and they repeated my setup and duplicated the results, which is very important when you do some kind of research. And we decided to build a hub for a road test, to see if it's gonna behave into a road test. And so after I had that talk with them, I sat down and I said, well, okay, now I'm not limited to this, so how would I design something if I was starting from scratch? And first of all, I designed my Stalker. This is what my bike right now, and I'm gonna post you the graphs. So basically I designed something that can really take advantage of something that can give you more power, especially at lower speed. And this is how the new Stalker was born. It will be available for sale actually quite shortly after this video, I'm guessing. It depends when you watch this. But it is one of the first electronics in the world who can take advantage of a new ecosystem. Again, I don't know what I'm gonna call it. Again, this needs to I need to test it on the road and see how it's gonna work. But this is going out of the 3 watt ecosystem, because if you're designing something today, you would not make it like this, like I'm gonna say, because this is based on something that is more than 100 years old, this type of technology, or 12 ohm resistor. So if you're designing something from scratch, basically this is how the Stalker, the new version of the Stalker was born. Again, the initial version was based on this, just it had a different LED circuit. But the new version is completely redesigned to, again, fully compatible with this. This is what I've been writing it with, and the graph I'm going to show you is based on that. Obviously, I'll test it with this once I build it into a wheel. But the Stalker is one of the first devices. I have others in the pipeline. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Obviously, every YouTuber says this, but I'm definitely have much more devices in the pipeline which are designed to basically not be limited. Most people definitely want more power at lower speeds, which is the more speeds. Again, if you can go above 30 kilometers now, you probably have a car following you, so what you have with you and any kind of power needs are really irrelevant because you have someone else charging and bringing you things. So that's that. So I rambled all this time, and what is the conclusion? The conclusion is that dynamos are what they are because of a very old standard, and everything made to work dynamos is either made to that outdated standard or it has to work around limitations, most notably limited power and limited low speed power. So if you forget about this standard, what would you do? And this is what I came up with. So this should solve all of those problems. And again, it's important this is designed with modern electronics and modern power needs in mind. Again, there's nothing wrong with this. Well, it depends how you look at it. But if you just run lights and all that stuff, you want to just buy what is currently available. Or ideally would want to buy things from me. You can check my webshop in the description. But if you're happy with what it is, one of these plus any other light design to fit those would be fine. The thing is, while my devices that are designed to take full advantage of this will be compatible with the 3-watt ecosystem, they'll certainly be able to take full advantage of the both higher efficiency and the increased power of Project X, as I currently call it. So that's about Project X and the Stalker. We'll have a video on the Stalker coming soon. It's on my bike. I still have to do some final tests. And I will test it once this is laced into a wheel. So that's for this part of the video, and let me show you something else which you might find interesting as well. Probably most of you are watching this because of my videos on Dynamo drag and Dynamo electronics and everything showing the Dynamo electronics I do, and I always joke that I do make electronics and then I make the bikes to go with them. So I do make custom bikes as well, and to make custom, actually that's how I got into this whole electronics thing. The electronics that are there were really not what I was looking for, so I decided to make my own ones. So well, how hard can it be? But I do make custom bikes, the occasional custom bike, and for that you need special tools. And a month ago or so I got this, and this is designed to do chainstays. So let me flip the camera and show you what it actually is. So that's the tool at my bench. It's actually quite big. I mean, you know, this is the chainstays on your bike. And I do have an Anvil frame fixture. I'm pretty sure if you're into custom bikes, or even if you're not, you have seen it. It's right there behind me. And it's designed to build a frame together. Obviously, Don Ferris from Anvil, he retired a couple years ago, but he used to make a full complement of tools for frame builders. And this is one of them. I've been wanting to get one, but I simply didn't have the money. And like I said, he retired before I could get. And I've had a fixture which actually I bought that did every tube individually, but in the bikes like the rear triangle there's tubes that go in pairs, and when you do them individually sometimes, you know, I mean, you have it CAD, but I mean the way it is in CAD and how it looks in 3D, it's a bit of a challenge. So this is designed to do the chainstays, and I'm pretty sure I can modify it so it works with seat stays. So basically you have a scale here which matches my fixture, and this is what matches the dimension from CAD. This represents your rear. So let me take a chainstay here. So let's see if you can see. So this is a scrap chainstay I have for my project. So this part attaches, well, let me see. So it attaches there. This is your rear axle right there. And then you do the cuts at the front to match and for welding. So let me move this. And the thing is, what I can do in this fixture, you can check wheel clearances. I have another tool from Anvil. So this one, which I thought it was a bit of a gadget, but it's actually quite useful. So this tool attaches there. This represents the wheel. So you can see, I mean, this is about a 50mm 650B tire right now. You can see how much clearance you get with your chainstay. Obviously with straight ones it's pretty easy, like this one. But once when you get them with an S-bend, it gets a bit more challenging. And again, when you do them one at a time, sometimes you scrap things because you don't see, and most importantly is because, let me see if you can see, it's quite big. This here represents your bottom bracket, so this is where your cranks go. So you can, once the chainstays are there, I mean, you adjust this, everything. I mean, especially nowadays with big tire clearances, with S-bend chainstays, you adjust everything. And this here represents your bottom bracket, more standard sizes, so you can see where your how everything would fit. You can put a crank, you can kind of do a dummy fixture. Again, there's different ways to do it, but I have been kind of eyeballing it and guesstimating, and it doesn't always work. So this will definitely help me. Again, is it super necessary? Not really. Is it helpful? Yes. And most importantly, it already, since I mentioned, I have another fixture from Anvil. This on these two holes there, on the same adapter as the other fixture. So this is quite nice. Why am I showing you this? Because I mentioned in my Di2 Dynamo charger that I have another project to showcase all my electronics. Like I said, I make bikes to show my electronics. I make electronics and then I make the bikes, which is a bit kind of how it is. So I have a bike I'm going to be preparing for the 2025 season, which will be the next version of my Concorde machine, second place award-winning bike. So definitely something quite interesting. It will have quite some electronics, like especially Project X, like I showed you before. I mean, if that really becomes a product, I mean, it's getting closer now, but you never know. So this will definitely help me with this, and I plan to have other projects, and it's much easier to work when you have everything in front of you rather than just on the screen. So thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe, hit the notification, and you'll definitely be getting more updates on future projects, both electronics and bikes, that I'll be doing on this channel.